I'm sure you've seen it on social media. We got to talk about it on today's show. Matt LaFleur went on with Kay Adams on Up at Adams yesterday and talked about a lot of different items. We got 3 topics to discuss today. Starting off with what he had to say about adding a pass rusher, who that pass rusher might be. Then he gave a new update on Jaire Alexander and where he stands with the Green Bay Packers. And he wrapped it up by giving some high praise to this wide receiver room. I'm going to tell you what the head honcho had to say about the wide receiver core. I promise you, it's going to fire you up for the 2025 season. If you guys are not subscribed, this is the perfect time to do it, okay? Because we are in a month-long sub-battle with our Vikings Now channel, our Vikings channel right here at Chat Sports, and they're beating us by 19 subscribers. That's not good enough, okay? If you love free things, if you love the Packers, if you hate the Vikings, you found the right place to be, okay? We only talk Packers, and we do it on a daily basis, and the best part is 100% free. It's the best time to hit that sub button. Join us right now on the Packers Report. So Kay Adams asked Coach LaFleur, said, I know you drafted some pass rushers, but I got to ask, are you open to adding potentially another one if they became available? Now, if you could see the way she was looking when she asked this question, you'd see the smirk. We'd show you the clip, but the SWAT would come through the door. They'd arrest me. You'd never see me again. Here's how LaFleur answered. Okay, if it's up to me, we're never turning down great players. So yeah, I'll be up there talking to Gutey and Russ. Do whatever you got to do to bring in as many good players in as possible. I know one thing, great players make great coaches. If you have some great players, you're going to be a better coach because of it. Now, you might be sitting there and saying, Joey, that's a reach. They're not talking about Trey Hendrickson. Well, she quoted that exact tweet and said, sack leaders are great players, in quotations, because that's what she said after he answered it. And guess who she's referring to? Trey Hendrickson. The 2024 sack leader, 17 and a half sacks, leading the entire National Football League, ahead of names like Myles Garrett, Nik Bonitto, Kyle Van Noy, Danielle Hunter. It's got to be Trey, right? And so my takeaways from this, from Coach LaFleur's answers, to him even being asked the question, number one, he knew exactly who she was referring to. 100%. He smiled because of it. She said, what if one became available? And just, if you see the clip, if you watch it, you know that he knew. It's like that Friends episode. They don't know, we know they know. You got what I'm saying? Number two, honestly, it kind of seems like it's a legit possibility. Everything that Matt LaFleur had to say about that question, it seemed like he's been up in the office, so Brian Gutekunst, and saying, you know what? Let's just go take a swing. Let's bring in a big player and a good player. Number three, he could have dismissed the question easily. He could have just sunk right back into classic coach speak and said, you know what? We like our guys. We love Barron Sorrell, the pass rusher that we brought in the 4th round of the draft. We love this team. We love this defense. We've got all the confidence in the world. He could have easily said that. We've heard him say that a million times before, but no. He said, I'm all about bringing in as many great players as we can. And number four, his face kind of lit up when she asked it, okay? I took a little bit of a screenshot so you could see it for yourself of the emotion that he was giving off. Look at that smile. Like, that's a dude who, A, might know something, or B, is just smitten with Kay Adams, or C, is just smitten with the idea of having Trey Hendrickson on this roster. And who wouldn't be? I mean, let's be honest. The dude's an absolute freak. 35 sacks over the last 2 seasons. 22 sacks the 2 seasons prior. He would have led this team in sacks, tackles for loss, quarterback hits, pressures. I mean, I don't have many more words to say about Trey Hendrickson. There's a reason we talk about him a ton, because I want him on this team. Green Bay is essentially in win now mode. Now, I put quotation marks around that because they're not as win now as, let's say, like the Los Angeles Rams. They've got an aging quarterback. They only have so many more years with Matthew Stafford. Green Bay's going to have Jordan Love for the long run. They're going to be competitive for the long run. But still, when you can win a Super Bowl any given season, you got to kind of feel like you're a little bit in win now mode. Now, of course, there comes a price with trading for Trey Hendrickson. And that price is lots of millions. Let's just put it that way. He doesn't want Myles Garrett money. He's already said that much, right? He's already said that he didn't want $40 million a year, or he doesn't need $40 million a year. I'm sure he would take it if he was offered. But I'm sure he wants to be above Danielle Hunter. So the price for him, you got to acquire him. You got to trade for him. Most likely at the second round pick, possibly a third. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a third. And a contract worth around $36 million a year to get him right at that second place, second highest paid edge rusher. And he talked about it last week. He said, I'm not going to apologize for what my position makes. It's not his fault. They are making a ton of money. He's just the one that gets to benefit from it. Not you, not me, not any other team, but those players themselves, because they are so valuable. And I don't want to hear that Green Bay can't afford him, because I got $29.34 million in cap space. It's 11th best in the NFL. They could pay him in an instant, in a drop of a hat, and you need him. I don't want to hear that you don't either. And I don't want to hear the fact that he's 30. I don't care that he's 30. He's had 35 sacks in the last 2 seasons, playing for like the worst defense in football. He was the only good player they had, and nobody could block him. Sure, Green Bay had a lot of sacks last year. That's great. But they weren't consistent at all. They couldn't win their pass rushes consistently. They had a win rate of 35%, 26th best. And they couldn't get to the quarterback pressure-wise consistently. They're bottom half of the league in quarterback pressures and quarterback pressure rate. That number needs to go up. You get Trey Hendrickson on this team, that number skyrockets. I promise you. Whether it's him doing it or somebody else on the team stepping up, because he's taking away so much attention. So up next, we got Matt LaFleur talking about Jaire Alexander, giving the latest update. It's been a little bit since we've gotten an update on the cornerback and his future with the Green Bay Packers. But before that, weigh in for me. If you had to guess, what's your confidence level that the Packers trade for Trey Hendrickson? Like, how do you feel? Do you think it's going to happen? If you're guaranteeing it's happening, give me 100 in the comments. If you don't think it happens at all, give me a 1. Let me know where you guys stand. The Jaire Alexander saga has been an interesting one over the past couple of months. It's been up, it's been down, it's been all around, and we got a little bit of an answer today from Coach LaFleur. Here's what he had to say when Kay Adams asked about the corner. I would say that's just something that we're working through. And, hopefully we'll have some resolution sooner rather than later. And I hope it's sooner rather than later. I'm tired of talking about this subject, about Jaire Alexander, because it's been a topic of discussion since January. Kelly Hallinan tweeted this out right after the loss to the Eagles. It was locker room cleanout day. Jaire said he doesn't even know if he's going to be here next year, and he didn't have anything good to say, so he definitely wasn't going to talk. Ever since those 2 sentences were uttered, ever since Kelly hit send on that tweet, it's been all we've thought about, all we've discussed, because there's been zero resolution. But judging from what the head coach had to say, it does feel a little bit like he's staying in Green Bay. I mean, he said it's something that we're working through. Hopefully we'll have some resolution sooner rather than later. And it's for the good of this team. You look at the cornerback room. Right now, it's a solid room. Keyshawn Nixon, he did great things last year. I expect him to take another step up. Nate Hobbs was a big addition to free agency. Him playing in the slot, he's going to be fantastic. And you got Jaire there. When he's healthy, he's one of the best in the league. So if he stays, it's for the betterment of this defense. It's for the betterment of this team, right? Green Bay's better with Jaire Alexander in the lineup. You can't tell me otherwise. I promise you. I'm not going to believe it if you try. And if he's gone, whether it's by trade or just by straight up releasing him, they've got some bigger fish to fry. What say you guys? You want Jaire to stay in Green Bay? Show me by hitting a thumbs up on today's video. If you want him to run it back and you want him in green and gold in 2025, do me one big favor and hit that like button. Alrighty, last, then we're going to get out of here. Matt LaFleur praised the wide receiver room, a room we've actually talked about a lot since the 2025 NFL Draft, and the additions of Matthew Golden and, of course, Savion Williams. And LaFleur said, I do think we have a very competitive receiver room. I think it's as deep as anybody in the league. And I love how our guys go out there and compete and push each other. It's been pretty cool to watch the veterans, although there's a first rounder and a third rounder coming into the room, just how they've embraced those guys. You know, they're coaching them up on the field. I mean, shoot. We were out there earlier today, and I went over to tell Matthew Golden, something about one of his routes. And I was just about to start talking, and then Romeo Doubs grabbed him and started talking to him. And just like, what an awesome change from one year to the next. Like, think about where we were 365 days ago. We were talking about this wide receiver room. Hell, think about where we were like 30 days ago before the NFL draft. We're talking about this room and we're saying this team needs a wide receiver one. They need somebody to step up. It's full of a bunch of wide receiver twos and wide receiver threes. It's not deep enough. And now you add Matthew Golden, you add Savion Williams. They're not going to label a guy wide receiver one, but I think Matthew Golden has every ability to be that for this team. And you've got now Jayden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, and Tavian Wicks. 5 guys you've got a lot of confidence in. And then Christian Watson ultimately is going to be back at some point this season. That adds a 6. And when talking about 6 guys, it's easy to say, man, how are they going to share targets? Who's going to be the best? I promise you the cream will rise to the top this year. This is the year to figure it out. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, both of them are playing on the final year of their contract. At the end of 2025, we will know who deserves an extension. Okay? The cream has no choice but to rise to the top. The best players will show themselves. Take a guess for me. Name the wide receiver that you think will lead the team in receiving yards. Is it one of the rookies? Is it Jayden Reed, Romeo Doubs, maybe then Tavian Wicks takes a big step up? You let me know down below. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And also follow me on social media. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram, Joey Petersen 8. Both of those handles. And we'll see you guys next time.